about all the games and how there would be nice things to eat. Alfie was very excited about Bernard's party, and when the day came, Mom washed Alfie's face and brushed his hair and helped him put on a clean t-shirt and his brand new shorts. Turn page, please.
What?
Turn page. There we go. You and Annie Rose, you're going to be at the party too, aren't you? Asked Alfie. Oh, no, said Mom. I'll take you to Bernard's house, and then Annie Rose and I will go to the park and come back to collect you when it's time to go home. But I want you to be there, said Alfie. Mom told him that she and Annie Rose hadn't been invited to the party, only Alfie, because he was Bernard's special friend. Well, you don't mind me leaving you at nursery school, do you? She said. So you won't mind being at Bernard's house either as soon as you get there. Well, Mom had bought some crayons for Alfie to give to Bernard for his birthday present. Now, while he was up wrapping them up, Alfie went downstairs. He looked under his pillow and he found an old
you gotta do jokes, okay?
He found an old bit of blanket which he kept in bed with him at
you
night.
gotta do jokes.
Okay, so he brought it upstairs and then he stood up to wait for Mom. Turn page, please. One page. You won't want that old blanket at the party, said Mom. When it was time to go.
You gotta do jokes.
But Alfie left his blanket behind.
You gotta do jokes.
I just did. He held it tightly with one hand and Bernard's Christmas present with the other hand, all the way to Bernard's house. Well, when they got there, Bernard's mom opened the door. Goodbye, Alfie, she said. Hello, Alfie, let's go into the garden and find Bernard and the others. Then Mom gave Alfie a kiss and said hello and went off to the park with Annie Rose.
Goodbye.
And that's right, it says goodbye. And then she went to the movies with Annie Rose.
No.
Oh, I turned too many pages. Here. I turned too many pages. Open there. There we go. Oh, there we go. There they are at the mall. Would you like to put your basket down here with
It's a blanket.
It's blanket down here with the coats, asked Bernard's mom. But Alfie wanted to put his blanket down. He still held on to it very tightly. Well, Bernard was in the garden with Min and Sam and Daniel and some of the other kids from nursery school. Turn, please.
Here it is.
Merry Christmas, Alfie remembered to say. Happy birthday, Alfie remembered to say. Okay, I flip it over. And he gave Bernard his present. Bernard pulled off the paper. You doing all right there, fella? Markers! Crayons, how lovely, said Bernard's mom. Say thank you, Bernard. Please, said Bernard. Thank you, said Bernard. But do you know what he did then? What? He threw those crayons right up in the air and they landed all over the carpet. All over the grass. Well, that was a silly thing to do, said Bernard's mom as he picked up the crayons and put them away. Then Bernard's mom brought out some bubble stuff and she blew lots of bubbles into the air.
What did she say?
She's saying, hey, stop pushing me.
That's not silly.
That's right. They floated all over the garden and children jumped trying to pop the bubbles. Well, Alfie couldn't pop many bubbles because he was holding on to his puppy dog, to his blanket. But Bernard jumped about and pushed and popped more bubbles than anyone else. Don't push people, Bernard, said Bernard's mom. Well, one huge bubble landed lightly on Min's sleeve. It stayed there, quivering and shiny. Min started to cry. Min smiled and she stood very, very still. Then Bernard came up right behind her and pop! He popped that big bubble. Now Min really began to cry. Bernard's mom was cross with Bernard and she told him to say he was sorry. So what did Bernard say?
You gotta do jokes.
I will do jokes. What did Bernard say to
Sorry.
Min? Sorry. Okay, turn the page. Grandma's got too many pages here. Never mind. Now we're going to have tea now, my dear, she told Min. Who would you like to sit next to? Well, Min wanted to sit right next to Daniel. Right next to Alfie, so she stopped crying and she pulled her chair right up close to his. Now, for the tea, they had broccoli and eggs and chicken soup and sandwiches and little sausages on sticks and crisps.
No.
How many candles are on that cake?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good.
5.
Bernard is 5. And what did it say on the cake?
And happy birthday, Bernard.
Very good, very good. So, Bernard took one huge breath and ready, blew out the candles all at once. And everybody clapped and they started to sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bernard. Happy birthday to you. Well, then Bernard blew into his lemonade through his straw, and he made rude bubbling noises. He blew into his jelly, too, until his mom took it away from him. Look at her face.
Bed.
Alfie liked the tea, but holding onto his blanket made eating rather difficult.
Did he do bad?
No, he didn't do bad. It was an accident. It wasn't on purpose.
Did he do it on purpose?
He did it on purpose. Bernard did it on purpose. Alfie was an accident. Well, it got all mixed up with the jelly and the crisps, and it got covered with sticky crumbs. Ready? Well, after tea, Bernard's mom said that they were going to play a game. But Bernard ran off and he fetched his very best present. It was a tiger mask. Bernard went behind the bush and he came out wearing his lion mask. And he made some terrible growling noises.
No, it's a tiger mask.
Oh, it's a tiger mask. Rawr, rawr. I think little fella here starting to... There we go. He went crawling around the garden sounding very fierce. That's right. He went crawling all around the garden sounding very fierce and frightening. And Min began to laugh. Min began to cry again and she clung on to Alfie. I put too many pages, right? Oh, get up at once, Bernard, said Bernard's mom. It's not that kind of game. Now, let's all stand in a circle, everyone, and join hands.
Said Bernard's mom.
Bernard stopped growling, but he wouldn't take off his tiger mask. Instead, he grabbed Alfie's hand and he pulled him into the circle. Bernard's mom tried to take Min's hand, but to bring her into the circle too, but Min wouldn't hold anybody's hand but Bernard's. Oh! She wouldn't hold anybody's hand but Alfie's hand. Well, she went on crying, and she cried and cried and cried, and then Alfie made a brave decision. He ran and put down his blanket very carefully. Hold on a second. I'm going to pull you up here a little bit. There we go, little fella. No, you come back up.
Oh, no, I want to stand.
You want to stand? Okay, come stand right here. Come with her. So Bernard, where were we? You baby. Then Alfie made a brave decision. He ran and he put his blanket down very carefully in a safe place. Then he could hold both Min's hand and Bernard's hand.